Welcome everyone to Fearless Friday, where I offer a quick tip, exercise, or just a thought on how you can live more for yourself. My name is Dr. Benjamin Ritter, leadership and career coach at Live For Yourself Consulting, where we coach and guide individuals to create a career they can love. Remember, today is your day, and how can you make it fearless? Hello listeners, so Fearless Fridays has been about one thing, helping you live more for yourself and less from fear. And over the past few years, I've shared reflections, questions, and perspectives to help you think a little differently about your life, your career, and your leadership. But moving forwards, it's going to be a little different. So in the next chapter of Fearless Fridays, I'm going to walk you through every single strategy from my book, Becoming Fearless, one at a time. So there are 65 strategies in total. These are not just ideas to consume or concepts. They're practical ways to challenge fear as it shows up in your thoughts, your decisions, your relationships, and your work. So you won't need to listen in order. You don't need to listen to them all. And you definitely don't need to fix yourself. Fearlessness isn't about confidence, it's about willingness. Willingness to notice your fear, willingness to question it, and willingness to take one small action anyway, despite your fear. So some of these strategies will hit immediately, others will sit with you and surface when you need them most. But my invitation is simple. Please don't rush. Don't overthink, and try one thing. Take action. So I hope you enjoy this new chapter, because fear might be holding you back, but it's not a fact. It's just a feeling that's been defined by your thoughts based on what you believe it represents. So let's start believing a little bit differently as it relates to fear. So today's Fearless Friday strategy is about conquering your fears. And often we make excuses instead of taking action. We all experience fear and often blame it for not taking steps towards what we really care about. But that fear then tends to create a cycle of self-doubt, which doesn't feel very good. And so we tend to label it as bad, as a risk, or something to be avoided. So we then blame the thing we want. We say that it's something to be afraid of. We create this idea that our goal, or taking action towards it, is bad. It becomes data. The problem that we really need to start being aware of is that data, that information, what we think is evidence, is actually not a fact. And we really need to start kind of redefining what that information means. So to face our fears, we actually have to use the signals that we're getting as proof that we actually have to take action. So now most of us are defining fear as a reason to stop instead of go. We feel fear and we run. We get afraid. That's fear. But what if the next time you felt fear, you decided to pause before saying bad and instead decided to re-examine the situation? So just as you convince yourself to be afraid, you can prove to yourself that you have nothing to be afraid of. So here is the challenge. The next time you feel fear, decide to re-examine the situation. Just write down the fear. Get it out of your head. Dump it out. Get it away from the negative emotions that you have. And when you do that, you have an opportunity to distance yourself from those bad feelings, from that innate instinct to run away And you can start questioning and challenging your beliefs to find reasons to actually take an action. So when we don't allow fear to limit how we think about a situation, so it's not just run, instead it's explore, get curious, then we have a chance. We build a pause to figure out something we actually can do to face it. So, for example, let's say that you're afraid of having a conversation with someone new. Maybe you're at like a networking event or at work, wherever you are. So you want to write that fear down. I'm afraid of having a conversation with this person. You challenge it. So why am I afraid of having a conversation with this person? Well, I don't know what to say. I don't know how they're going to react. All the reasons that you're afraid. My breath smells. Who knows what it is? I'm afraid of rejection. Say, well, are those things really something to be afraid of? So let's say the person doesn't react positively. They don't want to have a conversation. What happens after that? Oh, well, you're at the same place that you were before you had the conversation. What if they do? What if they actually want to chat? What if you didn't have a lot of pressure on yourself and just treated it like you would if they were a cashier? Or better yet, what if you treated them like they were a long-lost friend? You say, hey, great to see you. What's new? And if you were positive, what are the chances that they're not going to be positive? And what are the chances that it's just going to be a nice conversation? So the worst thing that can happen is you're just where you were when you started. And we haven't even talked about the best that could happen. They can become one of your best friends. They can become a romantic relationship. Who knows? Maybe you just have a really great conversation. Whatever it is, it's probably better than not saying hi. And oftentimes that will motivate you to just face your fear, to get uncomfortable, to turn from run to go. And what could change in your life if those moments where you're afraid, where you're holding yourself back, you actually let yourself go, let yourself be free, and let yourself explore the possibilities that living a life of fearlessness can create. So this is just one strategy from becoming fearless. There are 65 in total, each designed to help you challenge fear as it shows up in your thoughts, your decisions, your relationships, and your work. If this one resonated, you can find the full book wherever you buy books, Amazon, and also at liveforyourselfconsulting.com. Don't rush. Try one strategy at a time, and I'll see you next time. So get out there, everyone, and live fearlessly. If you have any thoughts and comments, be sure to use the links in the show notes and send a message my way. Thank you all for being here. Keep on living for yourself.